Alright guys, this is the main reason why there hasn't been videos on the channel in a few months. This four-wheeler here, as we know, is the main four-wheeler that I started this channel off of. And not too long ago, had a rollover accident and completely totaled it. It runs, drives, but just does not steer. The whole front end is locked up, the whole front end is torn off. Lights and stuff are broken. This one's completely busted. And there's just a lot of problems wrong with it in general. But this bike back here is what I might start the channel on. That is a 2001 Honda 350. And it runs and drives not the greatest, but the channel can go on that until this gets fixed. But let me know if you guys want this one or want to wait for this one to come back in. Like, I can take a bunch of parts off this for that, or just revolve this channel around this Honda instead of this. But if not, we can just wait for this thing, because the whole front end is bent up. This wheel is angled in, so is this wheel. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but it's angled in like this. Steering is completely messed. Front end fell off here. That's the front end for it. That completely fell off. It's supposed to sit on it like this. Something like that. Down here it's all sagging off because it's broken. But it would sit like this, properly on there. But since everything's busted there, kind of have to get a new front end. This bar here shoved back in there, and that's messing it up. Fuses right back here in this box, as you can see, blown up. Brake handle in the rollover. This got busted. Right here, camera won't focus. Right here is bent. It was bent, and right here it was bent and cracked. It is muddy from being towed home. It still runs, drives. Could do a lot of, or there could be a lot of things coming with this soon, or this one over here. We can just keep going with the channel, because I mainly wanted it to be around this four-wheeler here. This one, very nice bike, runs, drives well. Just steering is not the greatest. That one, CV joints in it are going. Still runs, drives, has a new rear diff in it, has a new front diff. Just old bike, stock parts. This one's completely stock. Has never had anything new put on it. And another thing that happened in the rollover here, I don't know how well you can see that. Probably not very well. Anyways, CV boot down there broken. You can see the grease from it on my thumb. We have parts for this coming in soon. I believe so. There's some more from when it rolled. This whole front piece came down, sitting probably about like 45-degree angle there. So you can see the plastics are deformed and whatnot, sticking out. And there's just a lot of problems wrong with this bike in general. Like, it squats down so low. It should be sitting way higher than that. So I'm not sure what to do right now with this bike. There are many issues going on. And you can see just how low this bike is sitting. But try and pick it up here. See if it'll sit higher. It does, because there's a steering column that is messed up inside the bike. So I don't know what exactly is going on here with it, but it is something wrong. And we are trying our best to get back on it. Just a lot of damage happened. Not that bad down there. The rim's dented in. You can see a line. This plastic fender here is really deformed. Just everything's all torn apart. This isn't even the right battery for it. Battery from this bike here is inside the Honda. This is the Honda's old battery, which does not work. Got all the tools and everything out, tried to fix it on the trail, it would not work. Got a new relay plug in it. And we'll take it over here and change the subject a bit and bring it onto this bike. This is the bike that manually began me into YouTube a few years back. I personally right now am 16 years old. I started getting into YouTube. I have an old channel somewhere, I don't remember what it's called. And it started with this bike and a 1995 red Honda 300. And this bike has just kept me going through just about everything. I've flooded it and everything like that. It still turns on, everything, gives you the notification lights. Winch and everything works. Headlights still work on it. I've never went out or nothing like that. It does not have brakes though. That is one thing that it does not have. It has a fairly new winch up in here. I say fairly new, it was like 15 or so years old in the box and I just put it in not that long ago. The bull bar here, not freshly painted, somewhat newly painted. It has rammed a few things. As you can tell how close it is there to the plastic, it's actually touching. And CVs up front here, these are the CV joints for anybody who doesn't know. These are going, you can see how flat that one's starting to get, and it's starting to click whenever you turn hard and anything. The winch bracket is bent. This thing was wrapped around a tree at one point. The skid plate here, need to get a new skid plate because there's no bolts here. Tires are bald on it, but they still pull me through just about anything that I need them to. I custom repainted these side plates a while back. This one didn't have enough paint to do, tried to rub it off, didn't go too well. And everything on this thing runs, pull cord, does not go back in, it is permanently out of the bike. So, I don't know what to do there. All the plastics and everything, pretty good on it, never been in a rollover, it's been tipped, ripped up here a little bit. Still got all the stickers and everything on it. Tail light works too. That is one thing that a lot of these bikes do not have, is a working tail light. Working tail light, stock exhaust, the rear diff back here, and this was freshly painted along with the rest of the bull bars and stuff. These are also the stock tires that came with it. They are getting bald, but after 19 years, tires. And not sure if the video froze up there or not, but my bad if it did. And this bike I favor this over that bike in general. Just never had a problem with it. Never stopped steering, never stopped driving itself. Even when the rear diff on this was blown, it would still just pull itself along. We still don't know how the rear diff was blown on this before we got it fixed. Just out driving on the road one day and it just went. And it does have the stock airbox and everything in it. Most bikes don't. Oh, this is going to be hard. I'm just going to set this right down here in a minute, just while I get this seat off. If it wants to come off, that would be very nice. There we go. There we go. So, stock carburetor intake is all the way up in here. It runs all the way up through here, and then comes up and ends right about there. So the intake on it is right here. Stock carburetor, like I was saying, that is oil, I believe. Yes, that is oil. Stock air filter, just not a lot of anything really done to this bike in general. Pretty dirty. Close that back up. Remember, I'm doing this with one hand, so it's not very easy. Sorry for the bad filming. I haven't really just done a normal vlog sort of video. Battery and stuff that's back here. All the wiring and stuff's out of whack. Fuel gauge doesn't work. This brake does not work. Reverse sort of works sometimes when it wants to. It is a manual. And that's one thing that I like about four-wheelers, is that I don't like the automatics as much. I don't mind them, but I don't really like them. I would much more prefer a manual over an automatic. Just because the automatic, something happens, you don't know exactly what happened, because it's a belt-driven bike. This is a shaft-driven bike. These are more simple to deal with, and these are more complicated and more expensive because it's a newer type of bike. And this one has working brakes, working, like, everything. Lights and everything work on it. Kill switch, overdrive, reverse. And never had any problems with this in general. Although the differential lock button, it does not work. It'll go up a bit, but then it won't go up anymore. It is just jammed in there for some reason. The seat is busted off from the rollover, as it was rolled over in a mud hole, and we do not know how well it runs or anything, because we did not start it since it's been sitting here for about 4 months. Just been sitting here. Don't even know if it has gas in it or not. It does sound like there's gas in it. Yeah, I do not hear any gas. Nothing sloshing around in there, nothing. And all of the fuses, as far as I know, these are spare fuses that came with that bike. These metallic, or not metallic, matte colored ones. And these ones here are the ones that came stock with the bike. And all of our cables and stuff up here, I'm completely honest, I don't know what any of these do. All I know is there's the relay plug right here, that is a new one. Bunch of new winch wires and stuff ran through. This one is a bit messed up here, as it should look like this, but it does not. So that needs to be taken off and redone. And I just poked myself with something. Whole bunch of new, like, wiring and stuff done through this, up to the fuse box. I'm not good at filming. All the way from here up to the fuse box here. That is all brand new and redone. I'm thinking of getting a new shifter knob. I don't know how that would sound to any of you, the 7 of you that there is. But there is a lot of work to be done to this bike. It is gonna be far from stock, I'm hoping, because it sits about a foot up off the ground right now. I'm hoping to have it sitting about here, and the tires to be from here to about here, with upgraded shocks, because these are just stock shocks and they bend and wobble and everything. They're not very good ones. Probably just cheap shocks. The tires on it, however, are very good tires. These are stock tires, both front and rear. The front ones have a bit more tread than the rear ones because this thing does mad burnouts. That might have something to do with why it's not working properly along with the rollover. And you can see better from this side that the headlight mount is just broken. That does not work, and don't know how well you can see. I've only got an LED light over there. Camera is overexposing. It's just sitting over there though. And that's all that I got. So radiator here is pushed way up against the winch, which is a bad thing for this. I don't know how you can see that, but you can see how it gets closer right here than it does all the way down there. So it was definitely messed up. Our radiator tubes in here, and again, lighting's not very good. This thing right here, aftermarket radiator tube, and aftermarket tie rods down in there. Can't see them, but there's aftermarket tie rods. Not a whole lot to talk about this bike, really. Not the greatest bike I've ever purchased. I've saved up for many years to get a bike, and did not go too well for me. I'm gonna set you guys down right there while I move something, and I will try to video as much of this series of getting this bike fixed as I can. It's out there for you guys to see the process of this bike being rebuilt. Because not a lot of people do that kind of stuff anymore. Like YouTubers that I used to watch and stuff, they used to take theirs and if they had a busted bike, they used to take it and rebuild it. Everything like that. But not a lot of people do that no more. And that is something that I personally enjoyed like 3-4 years ago. I do believe that this bike still has signs of life in it. I do not have the key. Don't work. So that first of all is not good. All the lights and everything work. Exhaust is an aftermarket exhaust, just slightly redone. Usually used to stick out to about here. Just comes out that little bit farther with the exit pipe. Not really sure what it's called exactly. But this piece, this little tube here was different. This cap's not really needed on there. Just threw it on there for the look, really. And just so it looks more sleek, basically. Got stock reflectors, aftermarket tow hook. If the camera will focus. There we go, aftermarket tow hook. The differential cap is a bit busted up. Chipped off right there, and then it goes up. And there's the rear end of it. No clue what this, like, this is just a pipe guard there. Got some heavy duty shocks on the rear. Aftermarket shocks. These are, I'm not sure what brand these are, but these are aftermarket shocks for this bike. And these are stock CVs and aftermarket arms and stuff like that. We've got no clue what this is. If anybody knows what IRS stands for on a Suzuki, let me know about that one. And this is starting to become a pretty long video. Stuff like that. There's not going to be really any editing or anything like that in the video. It's just going to be pretty straight up. So, basically the bottom line is, you guys want to wait for this bike to be fixed, or make videos with this one here. Personally, I like this one because it's a lot more beefy looking. It's a lot wider, and in my preference, a lot nicer. And this is the helmet. There's no GoPros or anything like that. I just use my camera to do this. I'm not sure how the audio is going to be, because this is a different camera from what I used originally when I started the channel with this bike. But let me know if you guys want any videos with the Honda, or if we want to just wait for the Suzuki to be completely done. So basically that's it. And let me know if you guys enjoyed, or just comment down below if you want me to make videos with this or wait for that one. So guys, have a good time. Peace.